What's up, everybody? It is your man here, Kyle, with the Bolt Bros. Crazy K, if you know me more personally, you know what I'm saying? But we have a little special evening tonight. Before I was doing the Madden things on Wednesday night. I'm still working on that video by the way. And if you do have the link for the bracket, you can see how some of it's going. And I do encourage you to actually start to put your predictions out there because there would be a prize if you do actually end up getting the correct order for the winner of the all 32 NFL challenge. So, but you got to put your votes in there now because if you don't, by the end of the first round, then all bets are off. All right, but tonight I've been kind of thinking about doing this one for a while. I really want to get into doing some power rankings with some friends from Thunder Alley and with you, the fans of the show and the Chargers and all that stuff. So I thought we had a really good time, opportunity to do that. So, but for today's episode, we have a special guest. He goes by Senior Snappy, no other, the latest and greatest, the captain of the Lake Yacht Club, I should say. Ahoy, matey. But without further ado, let me bring him into the show and he can introduce himself and say hello to you. I guess we're seeing the back of his head instead.
What's up?
Hey,
Bolt Bros, let's go.
Bolt
How we
Bros,
doing tonight, everybody?
Rivers Lake.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
How come I'm so much smaller than you? I've seen you in person. I don't think I'm this much smaller.
I bulked up a little bit. I've been going to the gym. I've been eating my beefcake. Stuff like that. Actually, no. I just got a different camera webcam now, so that's all. My camera's a little bit
something to do with Herbert, the new strength and conditioning maestro.
Yes, you know what? I mean, see that was a little something special. Is that I've been training with Ben Herbert myself.
Wow, that is so cool.
He's
I had no idea you were so connected. One time they let you in the building one time, and you're already taking over the strength and conditioning program. I love it.
Hey, I'm just the magic man, I got a little bit of magic in me, and Ben Herbert saw the aura that I was putting out, so he was like, "Hey, you're special, kid. You got it. You got what it takes." So,
all right.
Just kidding. That's all fake. I'm not. Hey, we got Andrew up in the house. Yeah. No, man. Hey, it's all a lie. It's all a lie. But it was a lie. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Yeah.
Cash rules everything around me. Cream gets the money. Dollar bill, yo.
So, so we got some people in the house. Hey, what's up, Brian? How you doing, man? Thank you for liking the shades. Say, hey, by the way, I am gonna put an order in eventually to be able to get people to have these available to buy. And potentially, if you guys get on the show, whenever I do that, Corbin, you're gonna get yourself some glasses right away because you've been on the show a lot, and obviously we've collab a lot. So it'll be a fair trade for one of those that 6 shirts you got right there, man.
Oh yeah,
heck yeah, dude. Oh, that's awesome. Hell yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
boat up. Yeah. But that's just it. So if someone wants the shades, they would be able to earn them by getting on our show and having a good time with us. You know what I'm saying? But you could also they would be for purchase. So
yeah, gotta support the program, everybody. As they say on some other shows, support the program for the brand or whatever. What's up, Miguel? What's up, Pablo?
For the fam. Yeah, Pablo's here. What's up, Bulk Bros? That's right. Miguel, yeah, he was our lucky winner last week with our Madden bet there, So all right. So we did a little bit of we did some fun stuff. But hey, like I said, before we actually get into it, let me just hit that intro button and then we can really start down and get into the nitty-gritty. You know what I'm saying? All right. We'll catch you in a second. Bolt Bros.
Bolt Bros.
I like it. Nice and simple. That's it. Bolt Bros. Let's go.
That's my favorite intro, I have to admit.
Yeah, it's just nice and quick, you know. Yeah. We got one for each one of the bros, you know. It's nice and simple. I like it a lot too. We're always gonna still use it in some way, I think. So all right, guys. So we are doing today a power rankings. So, and we're gonna Senior Snappy and I, we both kind of did a little power ranking on the side. So we have kind of a consensus, like a board. And we're gonna talk about ours, but we're gonna put all the board up to the chat to put them where they should be placed, and we'll kind of create a consensus board with each other. So we'll kind of create a law of averages, I believe. So we're gonna number everything 1 through 32, and this will be fun. So let's jump into it, guys. We got the tier maker here. We got this official board here. All right. So first up,
worst to first. So I figure out who's the number one pick for next year.
We could do that. I mean, like I said, I think it might just be simpler to just go with whatever the order of this whole group is right here.
I see. All right.
Yeah. We could start with last, whatever, or like we could just talk about it. So like we say, I think that's just the safest bet to do. Is like, all right, let's just place the Saints. Where the Saints placed? What do you think?
All right. So the Saints are Derek Carr's team. Mm-hmm. So they are probably going to be a little better than we want them to be, but still suck. I have them as a dark horse. I have them ranked. I have them ranked 21st.
21st.
They were. That's my ranking for this year. They had a 9-8 record last year.
Uh-huh.
They actually, the consensus is they had a pretty good draft, maybe a top 30% overall draft performance. They drafted an offensive lineman, and they're in a division where they've got a shot, NFC South. So,
okay.
Yeah, so that's where I put them.
Nice. 21st, actually, crazy enough. So I'll let you guys know about what my board is kind of based off of. Like, so I based my board off of kind of a consensus rating already. I took with the Vegas betting odds where they put the teams. Then I kind of looked at some of the rankings, like of other consensus rankings, and then I graded their draft, or I looked at their draft grade, how well they did, to put mine for them as well. So, and to be honest, I put them at 21st as well because of all those three factors. But what does the chat say? Pappy saying 26. I can see that too. So, but I do have, like, honestly, I have a tie with no, I don't have a tie. Never mind. I don't have a tie. So I was going to think that maybe the Giants might be tied with them or not, but they are not. So yeah, I got a solid 21 for them. So who else says, okay, Pablo's saying the 22nd. Let's factor those into it. So that would be right now, that'd be 24 split in the middle.
Now, I want everybody to weigh in, but I also don't want to mess up the magic of us both picking. We did not cross-reference our picks ahead of time.
No, we did not. Yeah, we did not. So I think I think we should absolutely go with that, So so that would put them right here, I believe, in the young but intriguing category right there. So that's in the bottom.
I wouldn't really call them young, but okay.
Well, it's kind of like weird. It's like this board doesn't really have like the numbering rankings, So like that's gonna put them in there just slightly in that intriguing situation. They're not gonna be that great, basically,
This also sounds a little perverted too, but I think that kind of goes along with the New Orleans, Mardi Gras kind of vibe. So yeah, I think it's a win all around.
I can see that. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So moving on to the next one, let's say the Miami Dolphins. What sayest thou about the Miami Dolphins?
I have the Miami Dolphins as 11.
11.
I have them.
Ooh.
Now check this out. I have them missing the playoffs this year.
Really?
And yeah. Here's why.
Okay.
Their draft was mediocre minus.
Mm-hmm.
They got a defensive end for their first pick. I do like their coach. I'm not a Tua hater. You know, I kind of he amuses me. I think they've got a fairly good team, but as far as carrying over their wild card berth that they had last year, remind everybody they lost by over 2 scores. They had a bad showing in the wild card round, and I think we all know what it's like to have a playoff hangover, and I think they might have a little bit of that this year. So I got them 11th, ranked 11th. Their record last year was 11-6. I'd put them, knock them down 1 or 2, maybe even. Say they're maybe a 9-8 team without really seeing their schedule. I'd say they're a 9-8 team, and let's stick them at 11, which is pretty high still, but still missing the playoffs.
11, huh? So it seems like you are a little bit higher than most of the people in the chat now. Pappy's saying 14, Pablo saying 13. Middle of the pack kind of situation. So for me, according to my consensus ratings, I put them at 14 as well, actually. So that's interesting that you gave them a little bit more of a boost than I did, actually. So, but I do believe that they. What's up?
Missing playoff teams. Would we stick them in there?
I think they are they're in the potential wild cards for me, to be honest. Actually, like
I'm with that.
Because it's because they're on the edge. I think they could make it, but I don't know. We got a big question here in the chat too. Actually, totally off topic here. I don't know if you've been keeping up with this one, but Kendrick or Drake? What do you think? Have you been keeping up with that situation at all?
I am so trying to ignore that. I haven't watched any of the videos. I know that Stephen A. Smith seems to be wanting to weigh in on that for some reason, which is funny.
Yeah. Nice.
Now, who do you got?
Me? I mean, I've only barely kind of tapped the surface of it, whatever, but I like Kendrick a lot. I mean, I think his diss track was way better than Drake's by far. And I kind of fell out of love with Drake after a while because because Kendrick came out and I think because of Kendrick Lamar's work with the Black Panther soundtrack, that took me over the edge with him. That I adore him the most, for sure.
Ryan's got a solid question. This is more my speed.
This is more your speed. Where does it? Oh, there it is. Yeah. Eagles or Pink Floyd? Oof. For me, okay.
Greatest guitarist of all time, or the second greatest guitarist of all time? Take your pick.
Well, here I'll say this. I mean, just out of the sole fact that I've listened to more of this band a lot more. I got to go Pink Floyd, I think, myself. So it's been a little bit more deeper in my life than the Eagles have been. And plus the Eagles, that's a football team in a lot of ways too. So I can't really support the name of the band that is an enemy of the Chargers. So what was yours?
Not even close. Pink Floyd.
Yeah, right.
Not even close.
Yeah,
been one of my favorite bands my whole life.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, let's before we answer Miguel's question, let's move on to the next team because I know we can get sidetracked really fast. I'm pretty sure. So,
who me?
No, Miguel has a question here. Yeah. So, but let's go into the next power rankings here. So, we got the Ravens next here. Wait, what do you think for the Ravens? Yeah, Ravens chat.
That's pretty easy. I got them at 4. I got them winning the division again.
Yeah.
They lost in the championship round by only 1 score. We poached a bunch of their players, but I'm sure we'll end up regretting some of those. Or, I think whenever a team that does really well lets a bunch of their top players go, I've never seen that hurt him. They always know
Yeah.
much more about those players than
Right.
even though there's a brotherly connection and everything, and maybe John wouldn't screw Jim over, but of course he will.
Yeah.
I'm sure a bunch of the assets we've taken from the Ravens are not going to seriously hurt him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think that the Ravens, they're smart. Like they know what they need to do, and like they know that they probably believe that Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins and some of these the coaches and stuff like that, like aren't going to be match what they wanted to do this year. But for me personally, the way that I place them, actually, crazy enough, they are ranked still number 2 for me. I think that they're going to have even a bigger and better year than they once had last year. Because I think because they missed the big game by just one game, and if they could figure out a way to beat Kansas City, which I think that they could now, because say for some reason that the Chargers don't go all the way, we now have Jim. Obviously, is going to play against the Chiefs twice a year. And if the Chargers don't make it, Jim's going to tell John exactly how to beat the Chiefs every single time now. And so I think he's going to get a little bit of help and some information. So I can see the Ravens going at number 2 this year. So I would put them at Super Bowl favorites in my book.
Wow.
Yeah.
I definitely have them as contenders.
Contenders? Okay, there you go. Let's
keep the favorites to 2 teams.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Because the chat's also saying 7th, so I can see that them still being Super Bowl contenders at that point too. So that makes sense.
I think this looks right. This looks right.
Yeah, it looks right. Yeah. You know what? I just realized too is like I think I misplaced Miami. To be honest, but it's okay.
I have them missing the playoffs.
You have them missing the playoffs. I have them like I think actually I said 14, but I actually got them at 15. So that was my mistake there.
I have them at 11.
Yeah, you have them at 11, but that's still still could potentially make the playoffs at that point too. But I don't know. I think we're pretty good with 14 as potential wild cards, But I don't know. No, I think we should drop them. Yeah. Because overall, you said you think missing playoffs.
Brutal.
And
you're so brutal.
Yeah.
I hate the Dolphins. I used to like them, actually. I used to be indifferent and even like them slightly because of their color scheme. Mm-hmm. But after the whole 2-and-on kicked off, I freaking hate the Dolphins now. So let's knock them down one just because they're annoying.
Yeah, man. Hey, well, you know what? The Chargers had that one amazing game with them in the 80s, or was it the 80s? I think it was with Dan Fouts and
there was more than one. One. So
right.
So
the thriller.
So riverslakeyachtclub.com, we do articles about the Chargers all the time, and our editor, our managing editor Dominic, just did an amazing article about both those games against the Dolphins, and just a really, really beautiful remembrance of that team and everything that went on in those really, really epic games, and all the characters and all the fallout from it. So definitely recommend everybody check it out. It's the latest article up. He just published it a couple days ago. riverslakeyachtclub.com or riverslake.org if you don't like to type. Yeah. There's my plug.
Nice. No, it's very good. Go ahead and put it in the chat if you can. It's totally fine.
Sure will.
Yeah, because it's great. Like, and I do collabs. I do need to make another couple blog articles for it. Like I like writing sometimes too. Like sometimes I don't like to just do videos. Like I kind of I'll get an idea in my head and I want to do something. So, quick question before we move on to the next one though. So, Miguel's asking, powder blues or the navy blues? What is your favorite shade of blue for the Chargers?
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Yeah.
Well, everybody that's an old head knows that we had to suffer and whine and complain for years to get them to have the powder blues because it was everybody's favorite, and they were like, we'll do it once a year, just so you can, remember how it was back in the 60s.
Yeah, right.
And we're like, no, that's the identity of the team. Like, you need the powder blue. So I'm still not done with it. I like what they did with the navies. I like them a lot. We can't seem to win in them, but I do like the powder blue. I think, enjoy it while it lasts, because I'll probably yank it again and do something dumb. It's just the way of things. People are like that.
I agree. I am madly in love with the powder blues a lot. But I do honestly miss the white around the bolt, when they had the
it was cool.
The two-tone part of it. That was always something I loved, for sure. Hey, we got someone on Twitter or from Twitch saying that the powder blues is Chargers, in my opinion. I like the navies as an alt, though. Yeah. And I'll say this, controversial
100%.
Controversial opinion here. I do not like the Royals. Like, I think those are by far my least favorite of them. I like them, don't get me wrong. And, let's put good homage to the 70s and stuff like that, like the Dan Fouts era and stuff like that, But if I had a choice to get rid of one of the colors, it's the Royal. It's too close to the Rams colors for me. Yeah. Anyways, hopefully people don't unsubscribe because of that comment, but I could tell the senior snap is doing that right now. Yep.
I know I unsubscribed.
He already did. He's like, all right, I'm done.
All right. Yeah.
He's just going to leave the chat right now. Cincinnati Bengals. What do you think about them?
The Bungles?
The Bungles.
Yeah. I have
right here. Excuse. Oh, I'm unsubscribed.
Hey man, you got to put it out there regardless of what the outcome is. So I have them. I have making the wild card this year.
Wild card?
They missed they missed the playoffs last year, if you can believe that.
They did. Yeah.
Just barely. They had a 9-8 record, but I have them making the wild card. I have them at 9. I actually have them above the Dolphins.
Interesting. Yeah, you got them above the Dolphins. Okay, so for me, I have them a lot higher than that. And the reason why I have them higher is because, look, I mean, they missed the playoffs last year, but they missed it because Joe Burrow got injured early in the season, and then he hurt his hand. He just double whammied. So they were doomed from the start. The quarterback is like the most important position. Joe Burrow is a great quarterback, and he proved it like the very first year that he's got a lot of ability to do something big. So he's back at the helm. So I put him at 5 overall.
Wow, you are nuts. Hey, Kyle, I've got an idea for you, though, to test your theory about the quarterback being the most important position on the team. Yeah. What if you had a team of all quarterbacks face another team of all offensive tackles? Who would win that game?
I mean, that's a good point. I mean, can the tackles throw? Can they? I mean, they could probably run. They could probably run the ball on those quarterbacks all day long. That's for sure.
I mean, everybody can kind of throw.
Yeah, I guess.
Let's do this in Madden.
Yeah,
let's do this in Madden and see what happens.
Yeah, that would actually be really funny. Like, hey, I might actually try and do that. Oh, guys, in the chat. Let me know in the chat if you want to see me do that, because that would be freaking hilarious. I think because we'll have this challenge where we're like, oh, everyone says that the quarterbacks are the most important position, but yeah, I like that a lot. I like that idea. I might just do it anyways, just for funsies, just to, and laugh around about that one for sure.
Oh, you've got to invite me on if you do that.
Right. That'd be really fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Okay. So wait, what is the chat saying here? Pappy 1973 saying 3rd. They're saying ranked 3rd for the.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what I like about them is that they were 2-0 in overtime games, and that to me means a lot. There was a couple 3 teams that had that record.
Yeah.
And we know, being Charger fans, how these late game pushes work out, and the teams that can find a way, there's some, they deserve some credit for that.
Yeah, exactly. Pablo's saying the Bengals are at 11 for him out of 14 teams that could make the playoffs. Higgins want too much money. Yeah. Burrow's back, and they lost some key pieces like Joe Mixon. Okay, so we're kind of spread around on this one. So, like I said 5. You said, what did you say again?
I have it in a different window. It takes me a minute.
You lost it. Yeah. No,
I have them at 9. I have them at
9. 9. So we got 5, 9, 3, 11.
Sounds like 7.
It sounds like 7. So that's definitely a playoff team. I think people can be satisfied by saying that they're definitely going to make the playoffs. You think that would be fair or what?
I mean, they're definitely going to be up against it. That's one of the best divisions in football they're in now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, either a potential wild card or a playoff team, either one of those.
Okay. Yeah. I can see that. I can see playoff team potential for them, But and by the way, guys, I did drop in the chat the Lake Yacht Club post about the thriller where the Miami Dolphins and the Chargers played against, where Kellen Winslow was carried off the field. That was a crazy, amazing game there. Like the history of that game and that time period was amazing for the Chargers. Dan Fouts has definitely got to be one of the greatest Dans to play. One of the greatest next to Dan Marino, I would say. Both of them are like literally on par with me, I think. So.
Okay. A lot of the article is actually about Eric Sievers, who just died recently. Rest in peace, Eric Sievers.
Dang.
So he I think I'm of the generation where that was just a little early for me, so I didn't know his game very well. But this article points out that he was an exceptional contributor all the time. Had a really, really great career. Caught a lot of passes as a tight end, which was not common back then. Yeah. He wasn't recruited or drafted as a pass catching tight end. But he was a big part of the Air Coryell system and seemed like a really cool guy. So definitely recommend everybody read that article and learn about him and learn about that game and about the little bit of rivalry with Miami back in the day.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? We got to just do a little bugle here, F in the chat for the passing of one of our beloved Chargers. Yep.
I'm playing taps. All right.
Yeah. I wish that they would play taps in the stadium a little bit more. When we lose the game or something. I don't know.
Oh man, that would make it even rougher.
That would probably make it worse. So. Yeah. All right. So keeping on to the subject here, we've got the Denver Broncos. What do you guys think the Denver Broncos should be ranked here?
I have them as improving a little bit. I have them ranked as 22. Definitely missing the playoffs. Okay. Yeah. I'm an Oregon guy, so Bo Nix is, I was happy to see him go somewhere, but wasn't really happy to see him go to the Broncos. I think he's going to be better than people think, but he might take a little while to catch to figure out where he fits. Besides him, they didn't have the consensus is they didn't have a particularly great draft. Their record was 8-9 last year. Maybe they pull a 500 this year.
Okay.
But which I guess you can't really do. But maybe they're 9-7, maybe they're 8-9. So slightly improved, but middle of the pack, 22 is where I got them.
Yeah. So for me, and just so you know, this is not a biased pick at all. I literally was looking at the. Sorry, I had to. Looks like you do have a echo of some kind there, Corbin. So I had to mute your mic for a second. Now my Siri thing over here is doing that. So I just looked at all the consensus things. We had Denver, according to Vegas, like other power rankings, according to how they're drafted, like, what all the pundits are saying. I got the Denver Broncos at 31. I put them basically near the bottom. So I got you unmuted now. So what does everyone else say? So like I do think that Bo Nix was actually a pretty big pickup for them. Because a lot of people have said that he's actually pretty solid. And he could actually have some really real big potential. But I just don't see them doing too much. Like they're still like building, I feel like, and the fact that they got to go through, I think they do have they have a mid-tier strength of schedule. So maybe 31 is a bit harsh, but I don't know. Let's see. So Pappy's saying 22nd and Pablo's saying 25. So what do you think? What does that put us here?
I had 22. I mean, we're all pretty close.
22. You're all pretty close. I'm pulling it down quite a bit. So I actually think that are we going to put him at young but intriguing or mediocre at best? What are you thinking?
Let's see where the Saints were.
Saints actually technically, I think I misplaced them as well, to be honest.
Saints were 21.
Yeah.
I have Saints at 21, Broncos at 22.
Okay, so you got them so that they could be around the same area. You think? Yeah. So they are going to be a little bit underneath it. So yeah. Okay. I can accept that for sure. Yeah.
Accepted.
It's accepted. It is accepted. It's already on the board.
All right.
I'm not. I already had my one mulligan. That was the Dolphins. So I pushed them down a little bit. So
yeah.
Okay. Hang on a sec. Eddie says it sucks, but after that classic win in Miami and the Kellen Winslow game, they got absolutely destroyed in the Freezer Bowl AFC Championship game in Cincinnati. Oh man, don't remind me about that one. Yeah, that is definitely one of the worst, games in Chargers history. I feel like, like we just, there's a whole conversation about that I want to bring up at some point where I think I do believe that West Coast teams have a harder time in the playoffs because it's like the thick of winter, they typically have to go East Coast for a lot of those games and stuff, and that's where it gets really cold. So that's why it's so important for the Chargers, especially, to have that home field advantage for the playoffs.
Amen. Got to run the table.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, and you know what? I think once we get to the Chargers, that's when this whole conversation is going to heat up for sure.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Okay, so let's look at the Giants now. The next up on this list here. What are you thinking about for the Giants?
In contention for first round pick. I have them at 30.
30, huh? Yeah. I mean, so I could see that one very much too. I thought they had a pretty decent draft though, but because getting Neighbors was a huge pickup for them. But I don't know if you've seen that Neighbors was absolutely not happy with getting picked to the Giants. He was at some of those press conferences, like, basically looked like he had a poopy diaper. He was just sitting there, like, really just not excited with being part of that team. So for me, I have him actually a little bit higher than you for sure. I got him at 27 overall.
How much of a bullet did we dodge by not drafting that guy? I know he's gonna be a pain in the ass for whoever for the Giants.
No kidding. You think so? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I admit, I think that the NIL right things that college is doing right now is like that's killing the college football game for sure, and so I feel like that that's definitely making like these college players coming out, like they get some kind of like entitlement feeling, like, and that's the biggest problem. And we could talk more about that if you want to as well, but it seems like to me, most of us here, we might say number 1 pick contention. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, he might end up having Drew Lock throwing to him this year. That's going to be great.
Oh gosh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people do believe that, Danny Dimes is not the answer over there, and they very well should have, could have, maybe got a quarterback at 6 instead. But crazy, man.
Yeah, they got DeVito. They got Daniel Jones, and they've got Drew Lock. What choices? All right. Yeah.
Very, very thrilling prospects indeed.
Can't wait.
Let's see. Yep. So
that's bad luck.
They are
Don't do that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna end up winning the division now.
Oh boy. Hey, there's no way they'll be able to beat the freaking Eagles. There's no way they'll be able to beat the Cowboys. I mean, come on, we can't even say that. I mean, I know Cowboys, screw the Cowboys, but the Cowboys are big winners. I don't know. Let's see. All right.
What was that song? Save a cow, ride a cowboy.
Oh yeah.
You ever hear this song? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I need to put that in my tailgate list next time the Cowboys come to town.
Right.
Tailgate. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
They probably all love it.
Yeah. Right.
Cut off jean shorts.
They might with that high fade buzz cut thing too, all those things, like that cowboy fan kit.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to the next one. The Vikings. Where did you have the Vikings ranked this year?
This is my dad's team, and I hate to say it, but I have them missing the playoffs again.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I got them at 20. Yes, I've got them at 23.
23. Hey,
23.
I'm pretty close to you there too. So yeah, I definitely don't see them making the playoffs this year. I mean, they did get a good quarterback, I feel like, in the draft. So I thought they did okay in the draft. And
I mean, they had some interesting offseason additions so far. We got Aaron Jones running the ball. He's been good at times in the past. They got Shaquille Griffin, and they've got veteran defensive lineman in Jerry Tillery. So I know that they're gonna.
Well, I mean,
never mind.
Dang. Okay. Yeah. Getting Jerry Tillery, that actually might mentally bump them down for me. But chat, let me know in the chat what are you guys thinking about the Vikings here before I drop my rank on them. So, I think they still got Justin Jefferson. I think he's a good player. Obviously, he's got great hands. Getting JJ McCarthy is going to be good. I don't know exactly how great he's going to do for the Vikings, but for me personally, I put them at 20th overall. So that would I think that would put them in the missing the playoffs area for me. But what do you guys say? I could say it could also be on the edge of mediocre at best. But I think because you guys, it seems like your ranking was lower, and it looks like Pablo's saying is 24 for the Norsemen. So yeah, Savior over here from Twitch is saying the Vikes still have a solid supporting cast, one of the best landing spots for rookie QB. JJ will have a struggle as a rookie, missing the playoffs, in my opinion. Poppy, I like that. I like that little Savior. I think that's a very good assessment there for sure. Yeah, so I think we can do that. And then Poppy's saying 20, so that would bump them up a little bit. But I think, all things considered, with all the rankings, I think we got them in the mediocre at best range, or is that missing the playoffs range? Yeah, or what
let's stick them up in missing the playoffs.
Got it. Okay, that sounds good to me. But I think that they would be. You think they're less than the Dolphins for sure still. So that's solid. There you go. Missing the playoffs. There you go. I got my sound. I got to be faster with the sound.
I have the Dolphins ranked way higher than the Vikings, but
yeah,
yeah,
you do, but I mean, they're still missing the playoff team, though. So
yes,
if that's the case, though, maybe we should put them down to mediocre at best.
probably, yeah.
I mean, because that's still missing the playoffs. So basically, anything here and lower is missing the playoffs for sure.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm thinking here. Yeah. So mediocre at best.
If I wasn't pissed off at Miami, I would say maybe put them in potential wild cards. But
yeah. Okay.
yeah,
got it. I got it. All right. Let's talk about Rams now. What do you think of the Rams?
I think the Rams are slow and they lost the rights to their own lake because they're idiots.
Wait, what do you mean? Like, just because you guys named it there, we have dubbed it the lake.
Yeah, or, we took their lake because they were so slow.
Yeah.
They did make the wild card last year and they lost. They lost by 1 point.
They did. Yeah. Crazy.
They also lost.
And it was like a rebuild year. It's like a rebuild year for them too, So it's like that's wild to me that they still found a way to make it happen, man.
Yeah, it's all that chunky soup or whatever. But they had a pretty good draft. They actually had one of the better ranked drafts of anybody.
I agree.
They got a defensive lineman to replace Aaron Donald. The loss of Aaron Donald is going to be, an immeasurable blow. But
right,
I have them. I have them making the playoffs again this year. I have them at 8.
8. Okay. I think that's a fair assessment for sure. I think I may have been a little too harsh on my ranking with them. I put them. I was just kind of thinking because it's interesting to me. It's like I don't know if they actually really know how to do a first round draft pick because they did get a first round draft pick, but this was the first round draft pick for the last 4 or 5 years. So I feel like they're a little bit rusty. So I don't really have a whole lot of faith in the guy that they got. I don't think that they did as well. Yeah, they're a bit rusty.
They only know how to build depth. They're like the anti-Tom Telesco's over there. They only know how to build depth.
Exactly. So for me personally, I put them at 12th overall on the on the board. So so for me personally, that puts them definitely in the potential wild card area, or could be a solid playoff team area.
Potential wild card feels right.
Potential wild card.
The ball could bounce the wrong way and they missed the playoffs. Right. I think that's pretty much where they're at.
Right, because here's the thing too: is their schedule is going to be a lot tougher than the Chargers this year because they're going to be playing against higher teams, overall. So, I mean,
have you been to Inglewood? Everybody's high in Inglewood.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But
they're good.
It does seem like everyone in the chat's kind of closer to you though, because you said 8th, and they're saying 9th. In the chat here, we got Poppy saying 9th, we got Pablo saying 9th. So we could say potential, but that could be leaning towards actually playoff team. I think potential though that feels better, like you're saying though, just because their strength of schedule is a little more difficult. They're gonna have to play against tougher teams for sure. So what that? How does everyone feel about that? Does that sound good? I think so. All right.
I like how they just stop clapping all of a sudden. Your control over your audience is really, it's mind-bendingly good.
Yes, it's amazing, right? It's amazing. It's amazing.
You are really effective. All right.
All right, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yeah. What do you think for them?
I call them the fucks. But
Tampa Bay fucks.
Yeah. I have them at 7.
7? Wow. Yeah. Okay, you're gonna have to explain your reasoning for that one.
Pretty good draft. They also only lost in the divisional round by 1 score. You know, they took an offensive lineman, which I like that in the first round. It's really kind of comes down to Baker Mayfield. You know, did he shoot his wad or whatever last year, and you know he's going to be not as effective this year? That's really the question. If he is as good as he was last year, I think they make the playoffs again, and he's certainly in a division where they're the best team in the division by far.
Yeah.
So they got that.
I mean, that's a very, actually, I didn't even think about that when I was looking at my stuff, but yeah, you're right. I can see them. I mean, they're definitely going to make the playoffs at that point because that division is kind of just a hot garbage right now, you know? So, but for me personally, like, I mean, I don't know. I agree with Poppy here. I put him at the 19th overall. But I'm actually starting to, because you're talking about how like they are the best team in that division. However, again, it goes back into that strength of schedule stuff. They played so good last year that now they're going to play against a lot tougher teams.
Yeah,
and I don't.
That's only 4 games though. They're so much better than the rest of the teams in their division.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think
they're going to win the division no matter what. Is what you're thinking?
It's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And when you think about what a power ranking means,
yeah,
I mean, yeah, if you want to stack them up against everybody else, that might, you know, like in a one game, you know, are they going to win against, you know, whatever it is, the 20-something other teams below I have ranked below them? You know, sometimes and most of the time probably. I don't know. I just think the fact that they're so clearly going to win the division, you gotta recognize that.
You gotta respect that for sure, and I 100% believe that. Yeah, Pablo's totally agreeing with you. He's saying 7 for the Bucks. So yeah, I think that's fair. That's definitely fair to say. Are they going to be a Super Bowl contender? Definitely not, but they are definitely a playoff team. You know, at that point, then you know. Yep. So they will make the playoffs for sure this year. And that's wild to think, you know, because I don't know, man. I don't really have a whole lot of faith in Baker Mayfield, of course, you know. So
yeah, I mean, I don't feel like he was ever bad. He did fall off a little bit, but he was, you know, he's been pretty good or really good.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, he's like this next generation's Larry Fitzgerald at this point. Like, I mean, how many teams is he going to be able to play on, you know, in his career?
Not Larry Fitzgerald.
It's Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's better than Fitzpatrick, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Okay. Yeah. Right. I don't know, because he's already.
I think he's one butt fumble away from being out of the league, though.
Yeah.
He's just got to zig where he should zag.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, so let's move on to the Lions. What are you thinking for them?
I think the Lions got so close to the Super Bowl, and I think they got the mentality and the team to go right back to the playoffs. I don't think they're going to be that challenged in their division. Honestly, I have them at 3.
You have them at 3. Got it. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that they proved that they had a massive ability and massive talent to go far. And like I said, like they were just one game away. And
they lost by 3 points. And
they lost by 3 points
in that game. Yeah.
Yeah, they were in it, you know, freaking tooth and nail, man. So yeah, like I put them at 4. And Poppy says 2nd. Carlos says Lions playoff team, and HHH4 is saying Lions are legit here.
I think they're in 2nd tier. I think they're contenders.
I think they're Super Bowl contenders as well. Like, honestly, like they can make it. They can get there, man. And like I would love to see it. You know, I would love to see a Lions Chargers Super Bowl. That's what I want to see. To be honest, to be perfectly honest.
You know, when they shot the crowd, everybody would be in blue, and no one would know whose fans they were.
And that would be the best thing. Well, no, let's be real though. You know, like the Super Bowl is not for fans. The Super Bowl is for celebrities now. It's because it's so damn expensive. You know, like I'll have to sell my left kidney and probably my right testicle in order to have a buy a ticket there for that Super Bowl. I'd probably do it though. I would probably do it.
Have you incorporated Bolt Bros podcast yet?
Incorporated? I don't know.
because maybe you could write it off.
Yeah, man, that's not a bad idea. Just write it all off, and take a loss. So yeah, but in fact, truth is, we are working on that for sure. So yeah, so I think I'm pretty comfortable with that. They're definitely Super Bowl contenders for sure. And again, it's one of those divisions, like you're saying, that they should be able to make it all the way.
Now they're in a division where they had 3 teams go to the playoffs, and the only one that didn't was the Bengals. So I mean, they are in the best division in football, at least as it went last year.
Yeah,
but
one of the toughest ones.
And I
think that's a big point too. Like they all made the playoffs, and they still won the division too. So they were beating really good teams, and so that means that the Lions actually. And they had a good draft. They had a good, like, Vegas ranks them high. All the pundits are ranking them high. So they got better. They got better this offseason. So, man, sky's the limit for them, man. I hope so. Okay, Bears. What are you thinking for Bears?
Bears are real interesting.
Yeah.
They had one of the best drafts. At least that's what the pundits say. They had like top 3 draft. I have them missing the playoffs, though. I have them at 17.
Got it. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. Like, the Bears have gone through so many quarterbacks in the span of even at the time of Phillip Rivers' career. Like, even they went through, I think, like 40 quarterbacks in the length of Phillip Rivers' career. Like, how many starters they've had on that team. I absolutely do not have faith that Caleb Williams is going to be the guy for them to get them everywhere. So I do believe that they will miss the playoffs, but I put them around 16 actually as well. So I think the Bears are still just like, they're just not going to be able to make it. So I think we're safe.
Man. I've got them at 17. So I mean, we're all real close. So
yeah, we're all real close. Pappy's saying 16th here. Yeah.
Now you just gotta find the logo.
Yeah. For which one?
For the Bears, or did you already place it?
Yeah, it's right here. It's we're just going from like this area. It's placed right here.
Okay.
See it?
Yeah. Got it. Oh yeah.
Yep. Missing the playoffs for sure. Yeah, I think most people. Yeah. Okay. Nick's joined in the chat. Hey man, how you doing? Yeah, 21 for them. Pablo saying Bears at 23. Keenan keeps it fun for them, but yeah, that's it.
Yep. Couldn't say it better. Couldn't say it better.
That's good. All right, so Niners. What are you thinking for San Francisco?
They were kind of in the middle of the pack in their draft grade, but they only lost the Super Bowl by 3 points. I have them at number 2.
Okay. All right. It's interesting. I looked at a lot of the draft grades for them. They dropped them really hard. They think that they had the worst one of the worst drafts. Like, they put them at 25th in the draft grading, which is subjective, which still was like a C or maybe a B minus or C plus area, because not many people had an overall like D or F or whatever like that. But everything else, though, all things considered, I put them like as a 6. I think that they're going to be a little less. They're going to have a little bit more struggles this year. But I'm on the edge of giving them Super Bowl contenders again, or just making them a playoff team. What are you thinking on that one? Pappy saying 8th. Contenders, Super Bowl contenders. Yeah. HH4 saying 2. Got it. Interesting. Pablo's saying Niners at 10, a wild card team this year. Interesting.
Wow. Yeah, lot of. So the only thing really significant that's happened to the 49ers, though, is that all of their lame quarterbacks that they didn't really need anyway have gotten healthier. So they're going to have like 5 quarterbacks to work with now that they've experienced what it's like to not have a quarterback and try and figure out if like a running back can throw the ball, 5 yards.
Yeah.
So I think I think if they hadn't gone through that quarterback hell, last year, I just don't think they've lost anything. I wouldn't put them any lower than second tier.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. Like you said, like they made it to the actual Super Bowl last year, so they very well easily could make it again. Like they're literally one play away, right? Like I mean, they could have won that game if they just zigged when they should have zagged or something like that, or I don't know. Yeah.
I have for their weaknesses. The only thing I have for their weaknesses is quarterback health.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I mean, all they need to do is keep their quarterbacks upright, and they're good to go.
Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah, I think but for me, still, like, I could see them being the playoff team. They could. I'm still like on the edge. I just don't know. But you're right. I mean, I'm happy with them as being Super Bowl contenders, essentially. Yeah. But there is a slump, like Pablo's saying here. Super Bowl hangovers are real, so it's very possible.
True. Yeah.
But that also could give them
making a playoff though.
But yeah, but that also could make them more hungry for it, because they're like, you know what, we were there, and it's so hard to get there in the NFL. So like that could give them the fire that they needed just to get all the way to the top, and then we can have a Niners Chargers rematch, and then another redemption thing for Jim Harbaugh right there.
That would be my ultimate dream.
That'd be amazing,
because
right?
We're not meeting the Patriots in the playoffs or anything.
Right?
So
hey, I would love to
be able to right that wrong.
I would love to right that wrong though, too. Like, screw that one. Yeah, that'd be great.
I know. Kind of had our chance. Yeah.
Yep.
Patriots aren't going to go anywhere.
Exactly. All right, Eagles. What do you guys think? What are you thinking for the Eagles? I'm gonna ask chat too.
So they were in the wild card last year, and they lost by more than 2 scores. They had a terrible showing in the wild card round. So I have them missing the playoffs. I have them ranked 15.
15. Wow. Hang on a second.
Yep.
I gotta do a gasp for that one. 15 overall. For me, like, I think that I put them at third overall, because I mean they lost Jason Kelce, but that was about it. Like, I mean, like
they can't push anymore without him. They're not going to be able to do that play, and that won them a lot of games last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very true. That is very true.
He got tired of people pushing his ass or whatever, and he retired.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, well, maybe the quarterback, just kind of stuck his finger up a little too much. He was a little too fingery with it, so that was I can
Those
see
aren't
them.
really the plays that I stop and rewind and zoom in for, but
definitely not.
Well, I guess I can't.
Definitely not exciting football there to watch at all, But
I think your audience is behind me on this. I think they're a mediocre team this year. Yeah, I think they're
really
potential wild cards is where I put them.
I see. Well, I see Pappy saying 4th for the Eagles. But you're right though. Shit. Pablo's saying buy Eagles by 16th.
That's right.
Overall. Hey, he dropped them low. Nick is saying 8th there. Saver the flavors over here. He's got Eagles looked rough last year, tending wrong way toward the playoffs. Wild card only because New York and Washington will be cheeks. Beat them cheeks.
True.
Yeah.
He's got a point there.
Yeah.
So they by default will probably be in the playoffs, but they will be. They got a lot to prove this year. They really fell off a cliff.
I think they did too, yeah. But they did get an upgrade. I think Saquon Barkley is a huge upgrade as far as a running back goes, because I liked him a lot. I hoped that we would get him, but clearly, I'm very happy with Gus the Bus though. Saver's feeling a miss here.
Gotta go back to my sheet. Do I have them making the playoffs? I have them missing the playoffs.
I definitely have them missing getting to the playoffs. So I guess I would be satisfied with doing a potential wild card for them. because some of the people in the chat are also thinking kind of high on them. Like Nick is saying 8th, Pappy's saying 4th. I said pretty high too. So I could say potential wild card team. Potential, obviously, you know.
The one thing I should mention that I probably didn't factor in enough is they had the 3rd highest ranked draft of anybody.
Yeah.
So I mean that's we don't know what that really means. But
yeah.
It's,
well, I mean that's the thing too, though.
They did well. So
yeah, and that's the thing though too is that like these players coming out of the draft are good. Don't get me wrong, whatever, but they don't have the experience. You know, like NFL as a whole, like exponentially better than college ever is. You know, like you're playing against like much bigger, much faster players and stuff like that. You know, so I think a draft is only as good as everything else around them. You know, so how
much of a factor do you think the leap between college and the NFL is just virginity? Because you're playing against mostly virgins, right? In college, isn't that how it's supposed to be?
What are you talking about?
I don't know. That's just what I heard. I read a lot of old time football stuff, though. So I don't know.
My gosh, what are you talking about there? You don't do that. There's no way. These college players are definitely beating cheeks left and right, man. I mean, they gotta be. You know, I mean,
pump and dump. Yeah. You never know where you're gonna land.
Oh, geez, man. Oh, that's good one. Here, I gotta get this one for that one. There you go. Yeah. I mean, especially now with all that money they making and stuff like that, you know. Wait. So we're talking about Eagles. Yeah, I would be happy with potential wild cards for him. So,
but you know who's not going to be a potential wild card? The freaking Raiders.
Yeah, definitely not. 100% not. No.
You ready to do them?
Yeah, let's move on to the Raiders. The Raiders. Yep.
I got them at 20.
20.
Yep.
That's generous, man.
They had an 8-9 record last year. I think they're not going to be as bad as we want them to be, but they still suck.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree.
Do we need to say anything more about that?
I don't think so.
They got.
They
got somebody named AOC throwing the ball, and they got Tom Telesco.
I just want to know.
Just barely missed out on the opportunity to bring Jerry Tillery back. So
right.
Yeah.
I just want to know how much Tom Telesco, if I can actually speak.
Yeah.
I'm starting to kind of feel a little loosey goosey now, you know. So, I just want to know how much he paid you to let you give them a 20th ranking here, because I got him at 28th overall. Yeah, it's not at the very bottom, but I don't have him at number 1 pick contention. I have him young but intriguing.
And I have him at mediocre at best, and I think mediocre is way more insulting.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, kind of like, that land over there, like age of consent is pretty young in Las Vegas, apparently.
Las Vegas, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh boy.
So Pablo saying 21, so he's a little bit underneath your. Nick actually he can't decide. He's deciding from anywhere from 20 to 25. So everyone's still. Maybe I'm a little too biased. Maybe saying 28 from my end.
Understandable. Yeah. I would put him at mediocre. Honest, I think that's
mediocre.
Yeah.
All right. I think most people are a little bit higher than I am, anyways, on that stuff. So that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Las Vegas Vibrators, that's for sure. Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
That is good. That's good.
Yeah, you need like a buzzing sound effect that you can do for him.
Oh, hey, I think I got one of those somewhere here. A buzzer. Hang on a second. Well, I got. Shoot. No. That was. Does that work? No. Yeah, it kind of works.
Wow, that's a hell of a vibrator if it's doing that. Do that again.
I got that.
That's
I got it right there. That's better.
There you go.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. That one works.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Green Bay Packers.
Roll my eyes with my sunglasses.
I know you can't see me roll it either. Yeah, so.
Right.
Well, what are you thinking for the Packers here? What did you get for the Packers?
Well, they only lost by 3 points, and I think I might be underrating them a little bit, but I got them at 10. I have them missing the playoffs though. So
interesting.
Yeah. They were kind of upper middle tier on their draft ranking. And I think they did really have a great showing in the divisional round. And, I think I might be at 10 is probably the right number, but will they miss the playoffs? Will they make the playoffs? Could go either way.
Okay. All right. Also for me, I mean, I think they had a pretty terrible draft. I didn't really see them doing very well with it at all. I'm right type in the chat here. Ranking. Let's see. Hang on a sec. So, but overall, though, I still think that they got pretty far, though. They got into the playoffs with Jordan Love, his first year starting, doing a full season. So I'm actually pretty close to you, but I was a little less. I got them at 11. I can definitely see them being a playoff team still. I just don't know. I mean, I definitely do not believe that they would be a Super Bowl contender. I think that they can still. I think their division is pretty, interesting as well. But that was. I could see them going to playoffs though.
That's right.
I wouldn't say potential wild card. It's kind of on the edge right there, because they are going to have a bit of tougher teams as well. Obviously, those 4 games or whatever, but they are definitely a playoff team for me this year, for sure.
Yeah. All right.
I'm cool with Nick's saying 10 sounds about right. Pablo saying the Packers. I put them at 12, and they could make another run. And they got Josh Jacobs at running back. Yeah. So, and Josh Jacobs is pretty good. He was another guy that I would have liked for the Chargers. But I think we definitely don't. Oh, Carlos, though, he said he believes that they would miss the playoffs. So he puts them lower than us by far. Interesting.
I mean, I have them missing the playoffs and still ranked number 10, because this is a power ranking. So,
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go potential wild card on them too. What do you think?
That's more where I have them, but I'd be. Yeah. I think either one of those sounds good.
Okay.
I would stand by that.
All right. Let's just stick with a playoff team.
You're gonna make this power rankings top heavy like a Tom Telesco team?
No, definitely not. I mean, we're getting into a lot of teams now that are probably going to be bottom heavy at this point. We're gonna have a run at the bottom, I think. Here,
all right, run for the bottom. a race to the bottom, as they say.
Okay, here we go. We got Washington here. What do you think for Washington?
Do I even need to look this up?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they got Ron Rivera acting like a podcaster now. He's got all the personality of the doorstop. Yeah,
right.
I have him at 27. They did draft a quarterback. People they have them as the consensus is they had the 4th best draft. So maybe we're underrating them a little bit, but I got them at 27 and missing.
27, huh? Okay, yeah, that's a pretty decent ranking right there. I mean, I'm a little bit higher on them. Maybe it's probably because the draft ranking with the draft grade kind of boosted them up a lot, but for the most part, most people put them really low. Because I still don't see them being super high as well, but they ended up at 24th overall for me. But I do believe that they're going to end up either in the number 1 pick contention again, or they're going to end up in the young but intriguing for me.
It all's going to come down to that quarterback they drafted. If he's not great, 100%. They're going to be back in number 1 pick contention.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and the question at this point is, are they going to suck or are they going to be ass?
Yeah.
It's one of the two.
Or are they just going to suck ass? Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think these lower tiers need to be browner in color as you go down.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. The poo zone.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's always. Let's see. What do the comments say? Redskins at 26 here. Pablo says. I can agree with that one. There's always about 4 or 5 previous playoff teams that missed the playoffs the following year. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I factored that into my my power rankings.
Good. Okay.
Formulas, which you've seen.
Formulations. Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing though too. Just kind of like we were saying, I think that they should, based off what we're saying, I think that they should be put in that young but intriguing thing because, like you said, it's all depends on their quarterback that they got. Because this is all pre anything that we've seen, So,
sure,
I think that's a huge factor because look at what happened with the Texans. They got
one quarterback away,
one quarterback away, and so that could be a thing. I mean, this could. Obviously, this board could get completely blown out of the water, So
I'm sure it will to some extent. I just can't imagine a team less intriguing than Washington.
Yes,
they're one of the most boring teams. Just their branding and everything is just awful.
Right? No, just renaming them multiple times off that. I think that was silly. Hey, but you know what they got? They got our guy Austin Eckler, and so he seems happy over there, obviously, but yeah, good for him.
I hope they're in a lot of goal to go situations because that's the only time they're going to get anything out of him.
Yeah, right. Know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the Cardinals.
It's a cardinal sin. I have them. Uh-oh. Thank you. So I have them. They were the winners of the Marvin Harrison Jr. sweepstakes.
Yep.
They have a quarterback. I don't know. I mean, their draft grade was also pretty high, definitely upper tier. I still have them missing the playoffs. I think it's going to be rocky, but they'll probably be a little bit better than the 4-13 they were last year.
Yeah.
I have them at 28.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Definitely young and intriguing. I would say they are the most young and intriguing of the young and intriguing.
I agree. The Cardinals to me are definitely an interesting team, and very intriguing, I would say. I just don't I don't think that a wide receiver is going to be the answer for them, as the best choice that they could have made, I suppose. I think that they should have found a way to move on from Kyler Murray because I don't think he's the guy at all. He's just not focused on football well enough. I think he's way more focused on Call of Duty than doing stuff for the team and stuff. So I agree though. I mean, I put him. A lot of pundits do believe that their draft was really high, and so that's what kind of bumped them up on my board a little bit more. I got him at 21 overall, so pretty close to Pablo there, saying that 22nd, and Nick is saying 26. And here, Savor the Flavor is also agreeing here. Kyler's back, brand new shiny wideout. Feels like they will be in the playoffs, scraping the Rams. Wow, he's putting them way higher. That's interesting to me. But you're saying young but intriguing, yeah?
I mean, the number I have them at is probably more in the mediocre at best.
Yeah.
I just like young but intriguing. I would actually swap those two in terms of the words used for the tier.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of
so you think young but intriguing?
I think they are young and intriguing, but their tier should probably be mediocre at best.
Okay.
I just don't
That's fair. That's fair. So you can put them at this one, but you would say they're leaning towards here. I see what you're saying though too. We can actually mediocre at best does make sense. I could just do that. Does that make sense? No,
that just kind of undoes our whole show.
That does undoes the whole show. Yeah. No.
Yeah, maybe next time around though we can.
Maybe next time around. Yeah.
We'll
I'll fix that. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Good job almost destroying the whole show though. That was cool.
Hey, you know what? I'm good for that.
Yeah, don't get you too close to the nuclear to the big red button.
All right, here we go. Steelers. What do you guys think for Steelers?
Yeah, everybody loved the Steelers draft. They were the top ranked draft of the year.
Really? You think?
Yeah.
So? Oh yeah, you're right.
They picked an offensive lineman. Yeah. The draft grade was almost like a A++.
That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Like, who did they draft again? I didn't even follow it that well.
Fautanu.
Oh yeah.
Fautanu. Yeah, offensive lineman. Which
I mean, is it Fashanu?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they jettisoned their quarterback situation. Now they've got to pick between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, and it is probably going to be an upgrade. So, I've got him making the wild card, and I have him ranked. This is hard to believe that I ranked him so high. I have him at 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know it's not bad though. I mean, like you said, like,
I don't want him to be at 5.
I don't want him to be at 5 either. But you know what? Like, I mean, the crazy thing enough is like I cannot count the Steelers out of the playoffs ever because Mike Tomlin just finds a way to win some games.
Yep.
I can 100% see them making the wild card as well. I would lean towards actually potential the straight up playoff team because like they just find their way. They just find their way in there. Getting Russell Wilson is a huge, I think probably a boon for them.
I think he'll do just fine there.
I think he'll do just fine there. Like in the Steelers, like somehow like they make, like I didn't like Ben Roethlisberger at all. Like I thought he was a mediocre at best quarterback, but they want to ring with him. So it's just crazy, I think that they have a much better organization than the Broncos did. Like the Broncos they're just wild and out, So for me, I got the Steelers at 7th overall. So I was close to you for sure. Let's see what
let's put them at playoff teams. I think that's where they belong.
I agree. So Pablo's saying 18th Steelers. Oh, so he has no faith in Russell Wilson. Dave's saying we don't have to worry about AFC West. We don't have to worry about the AFC North. Okay, I like it. Yeah.
Well.
Steelers have one of the cheapest QB rooms in the league, but big question with Fields and Wilson, potential wild card. Yeah, so the chat's kind of disagreeing with us. You and I are saying playoff teams. They're saying wild card. So
I mean, I have them as a wild card playoff team, but solidly making the wild card.
I mean that's fair.
They had a 10-7 record last year, and they're upgrading at quarterback.
Right, so, and Mike Tomlin just always finds a way to have a winning record. So they're in that wild card team for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. Solid wild card. Like, I mean, actually, so because of that, we could put them up closer. So I don't know if you know how these boards work sometimes is that, like the closer to the left, that is more the top tier in that area. So
okay, we'll have to do a little bit of a resort. All right.
Yeah, we could do some resort at the end, to really kind of finalize it for sure. All right, so Bills. Let's move on to the Bills.
So it's interesting putting the Bills in a power ranking because they're always so good and then they just flame out.
Yeah.
When they're playing the Chiefs, but I have them winning the division again. They have really no competition in their division.
That's true.
So I have them at 6.
Yeah, that's good.
They only lost by 3 points. Everybody is bagging on Allen, but they only lost by 3 points to the Chiefs. So I mean, it's whatever.
Exactly. I mean, every one of these teams is always just one play away from beating the Chiefs. It's unreal, right? Like even us.
Absolutely. Well, I will say about the Bills though, they were 0-2 in overtime games during the season last year, and that's not good.
That is not good at all. Yeah, like you got to.
But they did get rid of Stephon Diggs.
Yes. which is
they did get rid of Stephon Diggs, so
that's not necessarily a bad thing though, because I mean, let's be honest, Stephon Diggs he's great, but he's also apparently a drama queen. Like he's a ball hog, and he wants to be the hero or something. He wants to have all that stuff, and that's that is going back into your article about Kellen Winslow and like that game. Dan Fouts loved Kellen Winslow a ton because apparently Kellen he liked to be the hero, and they loved his ego out there on the field because he wanted the ball and stuff like that. So having that kind of play style is not a bad thing.
Hey, I got a idea for you. Speaking of ball hogs,
what's up?
I put it in the private chat.
Okay, I'll take a look at it in a second.
Okay.
So I'll say Buffalo. I put them at 8th overall. So I agree with Nick here. Poppy's saying 12th. Pablo's saying 9th.
I got him at 6th.
You got him at 6th. So we can safely say probably that we don't think that Stephon Diggs leaving would put them at playoff teams still, because they're going to win the division.
Oh yeah, definitely a playoff team.
Yep. Definitely a playoff team. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Carlos is saying Bills are playoff teams or wild card. Yeah, I agree.
For sure.
I agree. So, all right, let me take. So Falcons. Let me know what you think about the Falcons, and then I'll read your comment.
Falcons are a weird one to pick. I think they're definitely going to get better. I have them ranked pretty low though. Their draft grade is abysmal. It's one of the worst.
It was so bad. I don't know how they could get even worse in the draft than they did this year. That's like unbelievable to me.
So they had a 7-10 record last year. They drafted Michael Penix Jr., who's a great quarterback with some injury problems out of UW, Northwest guy, which I like. But I've got a soft spot for the Falcons. I feel like they always kind of have a chance to be sneaky, to kind of but they always kind of hover around the middle. I got them missing the playoffs. I got them at 26, but I think I might be ranking them too low, to be honest.
Crazy enough, actually, I mean, I was just shocked at what they did in that draft. It was just freaking crazy to me. And so, but you're right. I do have a soft spot with them because I feel like the Falcons are the Chargers of the East Coast, or the NFC in a lot of ways. Like we had a kind of similar, freaking playoff, meltdowns. But I put them. I was very close to you. I actually put them at 25 overall. Definitely missing the playoffs though. I don't believe that they would be mediocre at best, but I do think missing that they are definitely going to miss the playoffs this year for sure. I just don't think that Kirk Cousins is going to be the answer for them, and neither will Penix.
No, everybody says that, and he always balls out. Everybody always says he's not going to help, and he always does.
That is true.
So
that is true. But here's the thing, though, too. Like, I don't know if you saw this, but apparently one of the reasons why Kirk Cousins wanted to leave the Vikings is because he was told that they were going to draft a quarterback in this draft. and what the hell just happened? He did 100%. They still drafted a quarterback. Man cannot escape his fate.
Yeah. Grass is always greener.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So Pappy here says 24th overall.
I mean, we're on the same page.
Yep. Nick is saying 19th.
He's bullish on Kirk Cousins.
He's bullish. Yeah, he's bullish. Yeah. Save the Flavor saying Falcons, and if Kirk or Penix is good, miss the playoffs, maybe wild card. So yeah, I could see them getting closer to that. Yeah. Ada Ninja is saying, or Abda. I don't know. I can't read right now anymore. Falcons are wild card. He's saying, yeah. 24. So they are in a.
They are in a really bad division, so
Yeah,
they got that
I
going
agree.
for them too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is true. They do have potential to because like that's a solid 6 games that that they could end up squeaking out. And Kirk he's a good quarterback. It's just he hasn't really not very proven in the playoffs though.
Right.
Kirk was playing some great ball before his injury. If he returns to form, then it's powered by Penix State. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know. I would be I'm very happy with missing playoff teams. We can move him up the chain a little bit too if we wanted to. To be potential wild card edge. Yeah, they'll be edging the wild card.
Yeah, I mean the Bucks are gonna basically keep them out of winning the division, but they got to.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I don't know. The more I'm talking myself out of this, I think they're missing the playoffs still.
I agree. I agree. All right, let's move on to the Seahawks. What are you thinking here?
Well, they were 9-8 last year. That wasn't enough to get into playoffs because that's the way that division went. The Rams got their spot. They lost that tiebreaker, I think it was. But they also had everybody bagging on their draft. Thought they did a poor job of the draft this year, so we can't expect them to be getting better. I think they still have Geno Smith. Pete Carroll is now gotten demoted, but still with the team.
Right. It's like some kind of consultant.
I wouldn't expect him to get better. I have them at 18, and that might be overestimating their chances. I mean, they're always they've got the best, one of the best home field advantages, probably the best. They still have a lot of tools to work with, so I wouldn't count them out completely, but I don't see how they're getting better than they were last year. I think 9-8 was maybe their ceiling right now, unless they just really, really lucked out with their coach, and we won't really know for a while. So
yeah, I agree. I mean, so for me, like you're right. I don't see them. There's nothing that they've did in the offseason that really made me be like, wow, the Seahawks really could go far this year. I'm like, there's no big moves. I don't have much faith in Geno Smith at quarterback for them at all. I feel like, I think he's good. Geno Smith, he was a contender for me as like maybe comeback player of the year if they actually went further into the playoffs. But I don't believe that they are going to go too far this year on it. I think they still have a lot of ground to cover. So I put them at 23rd overall on the power rankings, and so that would put for me. I mean, they're up against the Niners, in that division. So they're definitely not going to win that division at all. So I mean, I could see them. I could see them as potential wild cards.
I think they're solidly missing playoff.
Solidly missing playoff. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just don't think there's any reason to think that they're gonna turn the corner, and their division's too difficult.
Yeah, it's probably true. And it looks like everyone is kind of agreeing with you here. Abda Ninja right there is saying missing for sure. Carlos is saying mediocre at best. Nick is saying 18th overall, which would put them low. Yeah, I could see them missing. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, we could do that. Like, yeah, it could definitely be. That's a better one. And Savor the Flavor saying, I feel better about every other team in their division. San Fran, Rams, Cards, Hawks. Yeah. Okay. I agree. I can agree with that. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the Patriots. What are you thinking about the Patriots?
Oh man, I am just loving how bad the Patriots are.
Yeah,
I've got them. They had a 4-13 record last year. They got rid of their only good player, which was Bill Belichick. And they got a pretty good draft grade.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So they got Drake May. They're bringing in. They are going to get obliterated in their division. So there's no way they make the playoffs.
Okay.
But I have them ranked 29th out of 32 if you're counting at home.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hey, hold up. Wait a minute. Back it up. I mean, let me find something here. Dang it. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Okay, so the reason why I played that one is because, just like you said, I am happy that the New England Patriots are, they're doing horrible, and I love to see the Patriots right now and down in the dumps, and I want to drop a 60 banger on them, you know, every year if we can. But then again, Bill Belichick's not there. We already gave him a beating, so it's kind of just doesn't really matter. Now it's just the team or whatever. So, but I also gave the New England Patriots the exact same rating. So it's a conspiracy. You are on my board here. 29th, man. So what are you thinking then? Is you number one pick contention then?
Yes. Yeah, there's nothing intriguing about him unless that quarterback is a miracle worker.
Yeah, and that's the thought too. Like I do think, so Natron Means coached good old Drake May. Well, that didn't coach him, but he's on the same thing with him. Same team, so he got to, see him work like a little bit, so he knows his ability. But I just don't know if that's gonna be the answer for them to get beyond what they are. I tend to agree. I think that they are in the number one pick contention.
Yeah, so I mean it's Drake or Kendrick, right?
So, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, you're for Kendrick, so I'm not expecting much from Drake.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Cash rules everything around me. Cream get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Yeah, everybody better cash in now while they can because the Patriots are just down in the dumps. Yeah.
They better pay all those guys in Bitcoin, otherwise they're going to be
That's right.
Which turned out to be a pretty good idea, didn't it, everybody? All you haters.
Oh yeah,
I don't even know. Good idea.
Okay, wait. So what's his name? OBJ. He got like $500,000
Russell Okung
in Bitcoin.
Oh.
And Okun, yeah, like that was in like 2020. So like that was the last big run. I don't know exactly what time he got it. I don't know if it was over the course of the year or whatever, but it probably still turned out okay for him,
It's higher than it was then. So yeah,
exactly. So he's doing fine. I mean, he was doing fine at the beginning, anyways. Yeah.
All right, who we got?
Browns up next.
Yeah, Browns are in that division where they sent 3 teams to the playoffs. That was crazy. They had an 11-6 record.
Crazy, right?
Best defense. So they lost a bunch of things. They lost Joe Mixon, who I hate, but they lost him. They had a pretty poorly rated draft, bottom tier draft.
Definitely, yeah.
They took a defensive tackle, so they're still leaning into what they do well. Still got Deshaun Watson. I can't remember who their backup quarterback is, but I think they actually have an okay backup quarterback too, so they probably won't be in too bad a shape. Yeah. I have his biggest weakness that kicker though. Remember we beat them on a game where he missed a makeable field goal. So I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year. I think they're one of the teams that made it last year that doesn't repeat. So I got them at 16 and missing the playoffs.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like that was the biggest things. Like they hit a great year last year, but they're definitely in my boat on that missing the playoffs area because their draft, whatever draft that they chose to do, like it did not help them at all enough. So and we're definitely not going to see them at all this year. And for me, I put them at 22nd overall in the ranking. And I could see them also just straight up missing the playoffs and a borderline mediocre at best, in my opinion as well. So
I think that's probably a little too negative. I think missing playoffs or even potential wild card, but they're I think they're better than all these teams except for maybe Miami and the missing playoff teams.
Okay.
But that's probably where they belong.
Okay, solid. Okay. Pappy's saying 15th. So yeah, so you guys are ranking them higher than I did. So I can agree with that now. So for sure. So then Nick is saying 14th. Sounds good. And then they're saying that Brown's got Jameis Wilson and Tyler Huntley as backups, and DTR as a backup. So okay. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. So we can put him probably around here, like there at least.
There you go.
Yeah, probably like in that range. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, very good, very good. All right, Texans. Let's move on to the Texans.
Wow, another team I absolutely hate.
Why do you hate the Texans?
I hate the Texans because of that loss we had to them. It was the very first game that we did an article on the Rivers Lake website.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I made this really cool flyer out of this beautiful painting of a bull rider getting thrown off of a bull, and in the promo for that article. And unfortunately, not enough people read it. But I just saw it's in my mind, and that's just like that. There was that player that had the Olympic gymnast as a girlfriend or wife, and they were always showing her in the crowd, and she was enjoying.
Simone Biles, I think, right?
Biles, yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, Biles, yeah.
That's what it is. Plus, some of my best, really old Charger stuff comes from somebody I used to work with that lived down here in San Diego and was a Charger fan for years, and then became a Salty and became a Texans fan. So whenever I see the Texans, I think about Simone Biles, that game that we lost. We shouldn't have lost. That really kept us out of the playoffs. And I think about my friend Dean, who I got some really great Chargers, antique Chargers stuff from. But I want to see the Texans. I don't like seeing them do well. So it reminded everybody they lost in the divisional round, but they lost by more than 2 scores. So they had a quite an epic flame out. Their draft was in the pretty good. They're in the top third, but at the very bottom of that top third in terms of draft ranking this year. They had a 10-7 record last year. But really just going to depend on CJ Stroud. What's he going to be? Has he got another? Was that the? Do we see his ceiling, or has he got more to prove? Yeah. If he does, then this is not a good enough ranking. I have him winning the division, but only ranked 13.
Interesting.
So they're in a division they can definitely still win. Yeah, but I only have them at 13, so I put them in the playoff teams.
Nice. Okay. I can respect that. I believe that as well. Like for me, I mean my biggest contention with them is that when we blew them out of the water, but they somehow still found a way to like almost beat us just a few years ago, like even without CJ Stroud. So that was kind of interesting. I do like the fact that Nick is calling them the Oilers. I think that's a very fun thing to kind of jab at them, because that was the team that they were before they moved to the Titans or the Texans or Titans, yes, to Tennessee. Yeah, I'm definitely getting loosey goosey now, guys. So
we better get this over with.
So for me, I got them ranked 10th overall, and that might be a little higher than most people, but because I think that they also they had a horrible draft. Like it wasn't like bottom of the barrel draft, but it wasn't like it didn't really make them much better than I think that they needed to be. And they are a couple players away from going further, I feel like, and I just feel like they didn't address the needs that they needed. So for me, like you're right. Like I think they are a playoff team, because their division is very winnable, and that's like kind of like the end of the conversation to me. But they are definitely like the bottom of the playoff team situation, I think. So I think that
if they're not careful, the Jags will take their spot.
Like I mean, like I said, they are definitely on the the back end of the playoff teams, so they could just be a wild card team. So like we could see they can be like in half here. I can't really do that in this thing, but like I think I can see them, bottom of the barrel on the playoff contention teams. So, someone seems they seem to agree. Hey, Dave says, F the Raiders. Yeah, that's true, man. Appreciate that. Abda Ninja saying playoffs, probably wild card at worst. Yeah, yep. We looked at that one. Savor the flavor saying Texans potential wild card. Their division is going to be competitive between Jags, them, and Indy. I'm discussing the Titans, but they look like the mess. I'm sure. Yeah, for sure. All right. So let's move on to the Chiefs. The Queefs. I mean, it's definitely the Queefs, not the Chiefs.
The Chefs.
Yeah.
I think we all know where the Chefs belong. Unfortunately,
yes.
They're favorites. They're favorites until proven otherwise.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. Like, I mean, yeah, I definitely have them at number one, still top dog. Because the truth is, they had a great draft too, still, and I'm like, man, how did they still get better? Like in freaking, what was the team that traded with them in the first round? What to give them like 5 extra picks or whatever, like or a bump up? Those idiots. Why the hell would anyone want to trade with the Chiefs? That makes no sense. I don't know.
I can't answer it. They didn't even have the best record in the league last year.
No, they didn't. Yeah, but that's just it. That's all the Chiefs need to do, though. They just need to get into the playoffs, and that's when they eat. That's how they make their bread. Like they get in the playoffs, and it's do or die time, and whatever something just unlocks in the brain, and they just freaking make it happen. All
right, I don't want to talk about it, to be honest.
No, me either.
I hate the Chiefs.
But they are a Super Bowl favorites, though. Like, I mean, you can't deny it. Like, I wish it was not so, but they just got some kind of thing there, I don't know.
Yep.
It sucks. So let's just move on to the Cowboys.
Yeah, there's a really cool song called Here Comes Cowboys by the Psychedelic Furs.
Yeah.
Really cool song. Yeah, recommend it. Classic new wave song. Here come Cowboys. Psychedelic Furs. If you youngins haven't heard of them, they're still kicking around, but they were one of the coolest bands. Had just a really, really unique and beautiful kind of haunting sound, but still very, very danceable and driving. Yeah. So Cowboys, they're going to win the division again. They were 12-5 last year. Yep. They had a mediocre draft. They picked up a pretty good offensive lineman. I have them at 14, so right smack in the middle there. But they definitely are going to be a playoff team. So whatever middle of this tier ranking is, while still a playoff team.
Yeah,
all the way in the back.
So I also have them at 14 exactly right now. So it's crazy. But yeah, like, I mean, I agree. I do, because they were so good last year. However, I will say that they did have a middle of the road strength of schedule. So 4 of those games were fairly easy this last year. So I think that they're going to have a little bit tougher of a road this year. But I still think that they'll be able to take it on top. 14th is a solid thing for me. Like, they're going to be a playoff team no matter what, though. They might be like middle of the pack in there, though. I don't know exactly.
They're going to be the shittiest playoff team, but they're definitely a playoff team.
Yeah, exacty. That's kind of what I think too. Larry believes Cowgirls would be ranked 32nd. I don't know, man. Those Cowgirl cheerleaders, man, they're pretty good, except for that one. One of them. Like, I can't speak for all the cheerleaders for the Cowboys, but
Hey, for our crazy Madden idea,
we
should have like a team of all cheerleaders, and then playing a squad of all like punters.
That'd be funny. Happens. That'd be really funny. I don't know if that's even possible. Like, that would be amazing though. Like, punters versus cheerleaders. I like that. That'd be really funny to see.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, no, we can at least do place kickers versus punters. That one for sure can be possible.
For sure. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll take Dicker, whatever team Dicker's on.
Okay. That is a fun idea. I want to simulate that one for sure to see what we can do. Like,
I got a million of these, especially if I keep drinking.
Dude, oh my gosh, dude. Okay. We're gonna have to do that. I think that'd be fun. Okay, Abden Ninja saying that Cowgirls have not improved. They just sit on their hands. They did, yeah. They really just didn't do anything or so. So Nick's right on board with us at 11th. Dakin's
Cowgirls sitting on their hands.
Yeah.
Maybe they should be closer to the vibrators.
Yeah. I don't think the Cowgirls will be going to the playoffs this coming season. Green Bay or Philly will take with that. All right. Yeah, like I said, they could be. I think they'll make the team. They'll make the playoffs. Like, I mean, the Cowboys are up there, you know.
Yep.
All right. So we want to say Chargers next, or should we move them to the end?
Let's move to the end.
Yeah, let's move them to the end. Yeah, I agree. Because I think we all kind of have our own biases on that one. So yeah. So let's go Jets. Yeah.
Yep. Are they still in the NFL?
That bad, huh? For you?
Do I have to rank these guys?
They got relegated to UFL.
Yeah, they got relegated. Man, wouldn't it be cool if we had relegation? Oh man. Well, so they were 7-10 last year, so better than I remember them being. And Aaron Rodgers has smoked enough ayahuasca that he should have at least half a season in him this year. And they picked up an offensive lineman, upper tier of the draft grades, actually really highly rated draft. So what else we got? They were also 2-0 in overtime games. So the Jets were sneaky gritty last year. And that's not nothing. So I'd say I probably have them ranked a little too low, particularly, but they are playing, in a division with, Miami is probably still going to be better than them, and the Bills are definitely better than them. So they're going to have a hard time making the playoffs. I got them at 24.
24. Got it.
Yeah.
I think I don't think that they did much better, and without air, obviously reminds us that they did pick up Mike Williams.
That's going to be how many games? I mean, you'll play like 4 games, and the poor guy's going to break in half.
Unfortunately, it's just going to be a non-factor. He's just going to play a few games, and be out for the rest of the season. I mean, if he doesn't, and somehow he balls out, that would just be, I don't know. I can't see him. I can't see him not getting injured, because, I mean, they also play on turf there, and Mike. That was like Mike Williams' worst enemy with the Chargers as well. So it's not going to be a good. It's a non-factor for him. So, I didn't see them
in the middle, maybe
exactly.
behind the Seahawks. I would stick him behind the Seahawks. Well, but yeah, I would stick him behind the Seahawks.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think they're definitely going to miss the playoffs as well. Yeah, sure, they got Aaron Rodgers, but who knows? He might end up getting injured again too. He's just too old. And they gave away, was it their other quarterback? He's with the Broncos now. So yeah. So Zach Wilson, that is, yeah. So they're missing the playoffs. I got them ranked at 17th overall. So yeah,
you're much higher on them than I am. Yeah.
I
mean, they could go either way. I mean, Rodgers is kind of a mystery, but he's getting so old. He's got to fall off, even if he's healthy the whole year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Got that injury.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just reading these comments here too. Jets all riding on Rodgers, repaired Achilles, potential wild card for me. He's thinking so. Yeah, I mean, I can see that too. I mean, but
we will be wrong on many of these. It's just
we were. One. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, all right, I think this is probably another one, just like the Chiefs, that we can probably just skip in a lot of ways.
Super Bowl favorites. Yep, Carolina Panthers from worst to first. Yeah,
Panthers going worst to first. I like that. You know, make that happen. I could definitely see them being a number one pick contention again for sure. You know.
Yeah, what a train wreck! It pisses me off that they've had arguably more success than the Chargers throughout their history, but screw them.
Yeah.
All right.
In just recent history, I don't think. I mean, they haven't made the championship game as many times, or I don't think they have. Right? I mean,
I don't know. I'm probably talking out my ass.
Yeah. Not again.
Yeah,
okay,
Panthers
Titans.
Sad. That's right. Panthers sad.
Panthers sad. Yeah. All right, Titans. What are you guys thinking here?
Titans got rid of Rabel, which is maybe the only thing that they had that you could probably rely on this coming season. I think their running back is he's going to have a hard decline this year. Their draft was bottom tier ranked, and it was bottom tier ranked last year too.
Yeah.
So they took an offensive lineman, J.C. Latham. So we'll see how that goes. But
he was the guy that I liked a lot too. If we didn't go alt, because he was a natural right tackle, Latham was. So yeah.
So I mean, I'm probably too far down on the Titans. I'm just, I don't know what to think of this head coach situation. I do like Will Levis. I thought he showed a lot of guts and a lot of spark last year.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's going to translate into any wins. They were 6-11 last year, which is better than I remember them doing.
Yeah.
I think they're actually going to be more in the 5-12 or worse. I have them at 31. That's probably a little too harsh. They're probably more like 29, but I've got them at 31.
Got it.
They all suck. It's a matter of how bad they suck.
I mean, I think honestly, like letting go of Rabel was probably the worst decision that they could have made. But obviously, he wasn't really panning out super well either. But
he had him in every game, though. They were in every game.
Yeah, they were in every game. It's just but they just couldn't make it every single time though. Too, they're always like one play away in every single game. It's just so, maybe two in some, of course. But I don't think Will Levis is going to be all that special either. So, and they got do they still have Tannehill? Right? Or did they let him go? I don't remember seeing anything.
I don't remember.
I don't know either. But I got them ranked at 30th, for sure. So for me, that puts them in realistically in the number one pick contention area. Maybe young but intriguing on the very bottom. What do you guys think?
If Tannehill's a free agent, we got to put him in number one pick contention. Maybe put him in front of the Giants.
Yeah. Okay.
They're like the best. They're like the best of the worst.
Like the best of the worst. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I could see it that way.
New York maybe has a coach in Dayball. I'm still not sold on him, but that would be the only reason to think New York could do better.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Okay, so let's see what everyone's saying. Okay, so Nick is saying 28th for them. So that's pretty much on par with us.
Yeah.
But the Titans did just get Tyler Boyd, so that could help. They signed him for cheaper than what we got too. Like he probably wanted more for us. So yeah.
Well, he can suck it.
Yeah. Larry has a bold prediction. Not be surprised if the Chargers, the changes will let Joshua Palmer go. Ooh, that could be the shocker release. Interesting, Larry.
Well, they're not going to be able to keep all these wide receivers.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true.
I could definitely see that happening. I think Josh Palmer is definitely solid, but I think he will be expendable.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Almost at the end here, boys. Colts, what are you guys thinking?
Well, they were 9-8. I don't even remember them having a winning record. That's just wild to me.
Right.
They actually had a highly ranked draft. They picked up a defensive lineman, Latu.
Yeah, Latu. Yeah. Latu, I think it was. Yeah.
Yep. Quarterback is Anthony Richardson. That's likely to be their starting quarterback. And he
got injured like right away last year, right? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so I have them solidly as like a dark horse that might do. I mean, 9-8's pretty good. Like,
yeah,
they missed the playoffs, but 9-8 is better than I thought they did.
And that's
I still have.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, and that's and they do have a kind of a weaker division too. I mean, so they could get up there. Like I mean, if they finally get their team together,
Well, they got the Jags and they got the Texans to deal with, and I'd be surprised if they do any better than them.
Got it.
So I'd say they are probably on the outside looking in this year, unless Richardson is just incredible and everything comes together. I mean, you never know. I mean, this is one of those teams that could really flip the script. But the fact they had a winning record last year just blows my mind.
Right,
I agree. The fact that this division had 3 winning records.
Right? That's wild.
blows my mind.
Yeah.
And the Texans are on the upward trajectory. Hard for me to believe, but I got them at 25.
Crazy. Got them at 25.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Top. So that's like the top of the bottom third of the league.
Got it. Okay. So for me, I kind of feel like they just didn't really get their legs last year. I think because Anthony Richardson, whatever, like got hurt so early, we didn't really see anything. If we're able to see what he can do, I think they can actually do better. I think they can win at least maybe 1 or 2 more games with Anthony Richardson. I hope, I pray, I think. I don't really care. I shouldn't pray about it, I guess, but
don't take the Lord's name in vain talking about Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I could see them like you're saying though too, is like they didn't even have like a stellar team and they still were a winning team. So I could see them being up there. I put them at 16th overall. So just solid middle of the pack. But this one could be for me personally. I don't know. I would put them in potential wild card contention.
There's no way. There's no way.
You don't think so?
No, they got to beat Jacksonville. Jacksonville's gonna smoke them.
I don't know, man. I think Jacksonville may have gotten worse, but we'll get into that one in a second. But yeah, so what are you thinking then?
I'm thinking they're I'd put them right in between Miami and the Browns.
Miami and Browns. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that too. And that is kind of on the cusp of the wild card situation too. Like, I mean, a lot of these teams are in that range, I would say, So
yep.
Okay, so let's just put them there. Well, are they really going to be better than the Browns though?
That's a really good question. I mean, these are going to float. This is going to be a pretty.
These are all going to be out of whack, So I would say out. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I think they might be sneaky. They might be sneaky. We'll keep it right there. Yeah, Yeah. Okay, I like that. So Jags, kitty cats.
Yeah, Jacksonville Jaguars, another team I hate. I think we all know why.
Yes. Yeah.
I have them missing the playoffs. They were also 9-8. They had a absolute middle of the road draft ranking.
Wow. Yeah, they did.
They picked up the wide receiver in the first round, Brian Thomas. Let's see. Calvin Ridley's gone. They've added Armstead. So, they've had a pretty good defense.
Injury prone.
They've had a pretty good defense. I could see them basically staying put or even getting better. But I have them at 19.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Dang.
So again, kind of the bottom third, but the top of the bottom third.
Yeah.
Really the worst of the middle third.
Yeah. All right, I could see that. That works for me. So for me, I thought their draft was actually like one of the bottom 5. I didn't feel like they did not have a good draft at all. And yeah, they did pick up Eric Armstead, but I think he's just injury prone. I don't know how well he's going to be able to recover from that gnarly injury that he had last year. So yeah, so I got him
so bad too. Yeah, that's
and he's up there in age, so but I got him at 18th, totally like middle of the pack. I wouldn't count them out entirely, but I would say that I think that they'll miss the playoffs this year, personally. And so I would sorry. And so that would be an interesting situation because I think that the Colts could take it away from them if their quarterback shows who he really is, and has a good idea there. So what is so Nick is saying 17th, so we're kind of on par with them. Abda Ninja, of course, saying the Jags suck. Yep, we're booing him. Wait, hang on a second. I got this here. Where is it? Yeah, that's good. There'll be mixed model Trevor Lawrence because he looks like a trans. Oh, jeez. We were playing the Jags. Are we? I don't know. I don't think we are playing the Jags this year. Are we?
I'll tell you next Wednesday.
All right. So yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, I mean, we can still know who our opponents are already. Colts will snatch the division. Yeah, I haven't looked. Yeah. Pablo's saying 24. So so you're saying you think the Jags are our wild card team, or are they taking the division?
They're not taking the division.
They're not.
No.
So let's put them up. I don't know. So because we're in between the Rams, Eagles, or below the Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's give the Eagles some respect. I think the loss of Kelsey on the Eagles is going to be a really big deal, but
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks right to me. That feels right.
That feels good. Yeah, I like it. All right. Okay. We are finally here. The Chargers. What are you thinking here? There you go.
Yeah, of course. Super Bowl favorites.
Super Bowl favorites.
We're out of here. Let's go.
Charge.
That's right.
Yeah. In reality though, okay, so I full-heartedly believe that Jim Harbaugh is gonna take this team very far. I think he's actually gonna be he's gonna get us all the way. We're definitely gonna win playoff games with him for sure. I will say that I'm thinking a little differently though about him because I watched. I don't know if you've seen this video. There was a one from this like Dark Side Football YouTube channel. He did a video about the dark truth about Jim Harbaugh, whatever, and how he was with the Niners is absolutely different than he's going to be with the Chargers, I believe. When he was with the Niners, he was way more aggressive. He had a lot more tenacity about him that I think he does now with the after years of playing with the Wolverines and stuff, and in now being a little bit older, I feel like he's a little bit more like Ted Lasso than he is our classic Jim Harbaugh that we know from the Niners days. So all things considered, looking at all the consensus board, for me personally, I have the Chargers at 13th. Massive improvement from last year. But I do believe that we have all the potential to be more a Super Bowl contender on the very bottom of the barrel on this thing, though, because of Jim Harbaugh and the Justin Herbert situation.
You are such a hater, Kyle. You were like, you have,
hey, man.
You have little faith. If you had the faith the size of a mustard seed, you could go tell that mountain over there to move from place to place.
Hey, yo, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I have him at 12.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look, yeah, and Pablo's right though. Look, Super Bowl or bust. We've waited too long for a Super Bowl. We need to get that Super Bowl, it's time. The time is now. And especially in this 5-year period that we have, with Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh, we gotta make it happen. Like it's just like there's just no other ifs, ands, or buts about it, you know? Yeah.
Unfortunately, if you publish this power ranking,
Mm-hmm.
it'll have no credibility with the Chargers that high. They're probably potential wild cards.
You
Is
think
probably
so?
where they need to be. Yeah, but you know,
Well,
just for now.
I mean,
We'll get there.
The truth is though too is because Kansas City, we need to sweep Kansas City. That's the bottom line. Like we cannot, because like I said earlier in this video, we have to have home field advantage. That is going to be so important to us. And so if we can sweep the Chiefs, that would be everything. That will make me feel like I think we have a chance at this now, because
I would love that.
that's the only way.
It's only 2 games.
Yeah.
I would love that. I want to see at least a 10-win
Mhm.
season again.
Oh yeah.
One way or another. I don't care who we beat. Let's just beat 10 of them or more.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Been waiting 51 years, Poppy says. Yeah, that's right. That's for me it's been 40, man. Just turned 40 this year. Ayo. It's all downhill from now, right? Chargers Super Bowl favorites and Super Bowl contenders. Period. End of show. Good night.
I was gonna just disconnect after I said Super Bowl favorites. What are you talking about? And I was just gonna
that would have been funny.
Drop the mic.
All right.
Peace out.
So realistically, though, like we have to face the facts that we are potential wild cards, because the Chiefs are taking the division more than likely, right? So, but I would put them highest in the potential wild cards area, because I definitely believe that we can, like you're saying, a 10-7 team. I think we can go to 12-5. That's my ceiling, at least for our year.
That would be awesome, and it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome
at
the end of the year to swap places with the Bengals on this,
right? Because let's face facts is that Harbaugh took the Stanford team like went 11-12 or something like that, and they flipped that number. They did the same thing with like the Niners, like when he inherited them, like he took them from like a 5-11 team and made them like 12-4 at the time. So I think he has the potential to coach this team to glory, and I'm excited for it, man. I think we can see it happen. So, but the reality is like, yeah, like, I mean, we got to prove it, like there's a lot of things moving pieces that we need to face. And I think too, is like, we do have a really young team. Cause we have a lot of like young players. And so that is a problem in some regards too,
Yeah. Our Super Bowl year, we had a pretty young team also.
That's true.
We can make this happen. We can make this happen. Have faith.
100%. 100%. So I just hope that we end up getting in that higher wild card situation, that higher wild card. That'd be it. That'd be it for me.
Well, my brother, I love hanging out with you. I love hanging out with your fans.
Yes, sir. This is a bit longer than I expected.
Dinner with my wife. Yeah, that was good times.
That was a good time for sure. Yeah. So let's just wrap it up here. I think this is a solid board. We can tinker with it later, and like the next time we do this, it'll be much faster, I think. So, but I'll save this thing, and we can keep it, and then we can adjust it as the season moves on.
Title: the greatest power rankings of all time.
The greatest power rankings of the
all time. Go big or go home.
Time
of the all
time greatest. There you go. Yeah. Greatest. Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. Excellent.
All right. Can I do a plug and get the hell out of here?
Yeah. Sounds good. Go for it.
All right. Hey, everybody. Look for me on riverslakeyachtclub.com. We got lots of good content, and Kyle comes and does stuff with us all the time. We love the Bolt Bros and love you and the Chargers, and hope you all have a great night.
Bolt appreciate you. Thank you for joining on. And as always, we'll catch you next week. Bolt Bros. Let's go.